Samano, 232454. And Detective, your name for the record, please.
Detective Chelsea Haskins.
Okay, I think you have to adjust that because I don't know that it's very loud. Can you try it again?
Detective Chelsea Haskins.
Perfect, thank you. Please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear from the testimony about to give this man be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
All right, thank you. You may proceed on the warrant.
On 11/27/2023 at approximately 12:12 a.m., Officer Adam Grote was on patrol in the city of Wyandotte, Michigan, when he observed a gray Dodge Durango with illegal front tinted windows east on Ford Avenue, 5th Street. Officer Grote observed the vehicle's left tire swerve into the left turn lane multiple times. Officer Grote activated his emergency light to initiate a traffic stop, but the vehicle continued straight for several moments before finally coming to a stop. The driver was identified as Jose Carrera. Officer Grote could immediately detect the odor of intoxicants coming from Carrera. Officer Grote observed Carrera to have a flushed face and blank stare. Carrera also had heavily slurred speech. Carrera reached into his open center console to retrieve his license. Officer Grote observed a spilled Ziploc cellophane bag of off-white powder, which he recognized as cocaine. Cocaine had spilled onto the cup holder, center dash, and center console, as if Carrera and Samano had attempted to dump it out while being stopped by Officer Grote. Carrera was asked to exit the vehicle. Carrera admitted to drinking a couple of beers, and Officer Grote observed cocaine residue in and around Carrera's nostrils. Carrera refused any field sobriety test. He was placed under arrest. Officer Sloan asked the passenger Samano to exit the vehicle. While exiting the vehicle, Samano attempted to wipe cocaine from the console with his left elbow. Officer Sloan observed cocaine residue in and around Samano's nostril. Officer Sloan observed the passenger seat where Samano was sitting to be covered in cocaine. Officer Grote retrieved the cocaine, which was field tested positive using a NARC swipe, weighing approximately 2 grams. Carrera consented to a breath test at the Wyandotte Police Department, which indicated he had a BAC of a 0.21. Lean check showed Carrera does not have a license to drive. This is Carrera's second OWI. The first was in 2018 in Lincoln Park.
All right, upon examination of complaining witness, that finding the offenses charged were committed, there's probable cause to believe defendants committed those offenses. And okay, appearance for Mr. Samano.
Good morning, Your Honor. Mr. Mr. Samano, at this time, we consent to matter being heard. So.
All right, and Mr. Samano, your name, please.
Carlos Samano.
I'm sorry, can you try that again, please?
Ricardo Samano.
All right, thank you. And then appearance for Mr. Pereira.
Morning, Your Honor. Neil Lawyer on behalf of Jose Pereira, P36827.
All right, thank you. And Mr. Pereira, your name, please.
Jose Junior Pereira.
Okay. Have you been here before, Mr. Pereira?
Have you been here
Mr.
before?
Pereira?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I thought your name sounded familiar. All right, and so, counsel, for Mr. Pereira, as to the arraignment.
Yes, Your Honor. With respect to the arraignment, my client stands, we would waive the formal reading of the complaint and stand mute to the charges.
All right, the court will waive the formal reading. As to counsel for Mr. Samano, as to the arraignment.
A formal reading, my client stands mute.
All right, the court will waive the formal reading as to both defendants. And Mr. Pereira and Mr. Samano, please listen carefully. You both have the right to have an attorney. If you cannot afford one, the court will appoint one to represent you. And in fact, you each had an opportunity to speak to an attorney today. Is that correct, Mr. Samano?
Yes, that's correct.
Is that correct, Mr. Pereira?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You also have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to have a trial by a judge or by a jury. You also have the right to remain silent. Anything you say orally or in writing may be used against you in court. Do you understand those rights, Mr. Samano?
Yes, I do.
Mr. Pereira?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court's going to enter plea of not guilty on your behalf, for each of your behalves. Schedule this matter for probable cause conference on December 7th at 11:30 a.m. This is a reminder, council, I'm not sure which one of you is here on Thursday, but we have a later start to the docket on Thursday. All right, and then, for Mr. Samano, as to bond.
Your Honor, as bond, my client's currently 26 years old. He works at TNM. He works there doing general labor for asphalt and laying pavement. He lives with his girlfriend. He has a strong family support system, and he also resides with his 1-year-old son. Judge, we'd be respectfully requesting leniency with determining appropriate bond.
Mr. Samano, are you currently on probation or parole anywhere?
Probation.
Where?
He's on probation out of Frank Murphy for a fleeing and eluding. He's been on probation for the last 2 years, so I would estimate that he probably would be coming to the completion shortly.
All right, have you ever failed to appear in court, Mr. Samano?
No, never.
All right. I mean, you out on bond in any other jurisdiction other than this one? Other than this matter, do you have any other pending matters?
No, I do not.
All right, detective, as to bond, as to Mr. Samano.
Mr. Samano has similar substance charges, controlled substance charges on his CTH. Therefore, he has not learned his lesson. I'm going to request a 5,000, 10% bond, Mr. Samano.
Well, in reviewing the criminal history of Mr. Samano has multiple felony charges previously for the same type of offense. He's currently on probation, and yet here he is again, now finds himself in custody for yet again another possession charge. The court finds that Mr. Samano is not able to comply with court orders nor follow the law. And to maintain the safety of the community, the court's going to order a $25,000 10% bond. In fact, you postpone not to possess or consume any alcohol or drugs unless prescribed, which I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to be doing anyway as a condition of your probation. And then I've also signed the felony court appointed order as well on that matter. As it relates to Mr. Pereira.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. As to bond for Mr. Pereira.
Yes, with respect to Mr. Pereira, Mr. Pereira indicates to me that he's 29 years old. He's been a long-time resident of Lincoln Park and a home owned by his family. He's been there for more than 10 years. He has a good work history. He's 12 years with the same company, a Regio distribution company in Detroit. He did admit that at one instance, he had a prior misdemeanor, I believe it was on Lincoln Park, where he missed a court date, corrected it immediately. It was a mistake, he corrected immediately. He was not picked up on it. So there was that one incident. Other than that, he's never failed to appear when directed by any court. He's not currently on probation or parole, and we'd ask the court to take those things into consideration, setting a bond.
Okay. And so, Mr. Pereira, who do you live with?
I live with my mom.
And you have a prior alcohol-related conviction out of the 25th District Court, correct? And you're not on probation or parole anywhere, sir?
Oh, no, ma'am.
And detective, as to bond in this matter.
Yes, Mr. Pereira, he did not have a valid license. He was driving with an extremely high BAC for safety of the public reasons, I'm gonna request a 10,000 10% bond with a alcohol tether.
Well, in the review of Mr. Ferrero's criminal history, he also has a prior possession of controlled substance charge. That seems to be marijuana, not felony. Has a prior operating while impaired conviction from just 4.5 years ago, as well as a prior conviction for operating without a valid license. And in this court, an open alcohol where the disorderly person was dismissed. The court, for the safety of the public, given the allegation of the 0.21, and given Mr. Ferrero's criminal history, the court's going to order a $15,000 10% bond. In the event you post bond, you're not to be released without an alcohol tether, sir, to the Wayne County Jail. Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All
Thank you.
right, thank you. Have a good day. So off the record.
Good morning, Judge. I hope you had a good Thanksgiving.
I did, thank you. And counsel, today is the date scheduled for the pretrial in this matter.
Yes, Your Honor, I had an opportunity to talk with my client at this point. I believe that she's going to be tendering a no contest plea to count 1, with consideration for 7411, and count 2 will be dismissed. She's not on probation or parole, nor does she have prior drug-related offenses.
All right, this shows guilty under the local ordinance similar to 7411.
Judge, we leave a link back to this.
Okay. All right, ma'am, please raise your right hand. Solemnly swear from the testimony about to give this matter the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
All right, you heard the plea that your attorney placed on the record, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
As to the count of possession of controlled substance, how do you plead?
No contest, Your Honor.
Guilty.
Ms. Vitro, in this circumstance, I'll be able to ask you questions to help you establish a factual basis. So we'd be pleading guilty in this manner.
Okay, so ma'am, as to the charge of possession of controlled substance, how do you plead?
Guilty, Your Honor.
All right, and you have gone over your advice of rights with your attorney, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and as to the amended count of no proof of insurance, how do you plead? Responsible or not responsible?
I'm responsible.
They rendered over the plea under the possession charge, not the insurance.
It dismissed the no insurance, but says responsible for no proof of insurance.
Oh, understood, Judge. Thank you.
Okay. All right. And ma'am, you've gone over your advice of rights, correct?
I'm so sorry, Your Honor, I couldn't hear you.
You've gone over your advice of rights, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you understand all of those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
You also understand by entering into a plea, you'll be waiving some of those rights, specifically your trial and appellate rights.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you understand possible penalty as a result of your plea, correct?
I'm so sorry.
You understand the possible penalty as a result of your plea.
Yes, Your Honor.
Perfect.
And knowing all that, you still want to continue with your plea.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you understand what the ordinance 25.136B is, correct?
No, Your Honor.
No?
No.
Judge, you wouldn't know about it.
Okay, you understand what the under advisement status is, correct?
No.
We discussed this, is if you were put on a period of probation and you comply with the terms and conditions, you're
I'm sorry.
dismissed.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm sorry. It's so hard to hear right now.
Okay. All right, and knowing all that, ma'am, you still want to continue with your plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any immigration issues, counsel?
No, Your Honor.
All right, has anybody promised or anything, threatened you or coerced you in any way for you to enter into a plea?
No, Your Honor.
All right, counsel, you may want to your client.
Yes, I'd like to direct your attention back to November 20th. Were you in a vehicle in the city of Wyandotte?
Yes.
At some point, you were pulled, the vehicle was pulled over, correct?
Yes,
And you will stipulate that you had constructive possession over a Ziploc bag that had heroin residue in it. Sorry, was that
yes,
satisfactory?
The court is also satisfied the plea is knowing, voluntary, and factually accurate. The court will accept your plea to count A and the amended count B, no proof of insurance. And we will schedule this matter for sentencing.
Judge, I am going to be addressing bond. I don't know if that'll be a factor considered.
Okay, will be. Okay, well, let's address bond and then I'll determine the sentencing date.
Judge, just to indicate that she now does have a place that she can stay. She will appear at any and all future court dates. She's been unable to post bond, so we'd ask for consideration and leniency for a potential reduction. Thank you.
Okay, and the place that she is indicating she can now stay, where's that?
Ms. Vitro?
it is in Madison Heights. I've also reached out to my mother in Clinton Township. We have reconnected and she's offered full support. It's just with my dad passing away just this past July, she just doesn't have the money to help with my bond right now. It's just a matter of my dad just passed and we're trying to pick up the pieces from there. But I'm staying in Madison Heights. I have secured housing. I am back with the church. I have a CPS case with my son, which I have a visit tomorrow that I cannot miss. It's our first holidays, and it's also my dad who's passed. It's his birthday, so it's a lot for my family, and I really don't want him to go through it alone. I will be there for every case because I can't screw this up. My son is he's my whole world.
And why is there a CPS case with your son?
Because of me losing my home, was not able to provide adequate housing at the time. And my son has a really bad ADHD and ODD, so there were a couple of incidences.
What does that mean, incidences?
He ran away from home with a little boy across the street and was gone for 2 hours. I live in a big trailer park, so they had taken off to the other side of the trailer park, and they were they said that it's not adequate supervision. It was first thing in the morning. I was folding laundry. They were gone in a split second.
How old is your son?
He'll be 8 in April.
And so who's he residing with right now?
With my sister, who also lives in the same trailer park. He went actually over by her house. I've already missed one visit, and I really, with it being my dad's birthday tomorrow, I don't want to.
Ma'am, the home in Madison Heights, whose home is that?
It's my friend Pat.
Do you have an address?
Yes, ma'am. It's 1310 Christine Terrace.
You don't need to tell me the address. I didn't know if you had one.
Yes, ma'am. In a rare coincidence, it's actually right across the street from where I had my first house with my ex-husband. Whose support I also have.
All right. And what were you doing down in Wyandotte that day, ma'am?
I was picking up my boyfriend. He was the one that was driving. I was just picking up my boyfriend. My boyfriend and my best friend in Wayne County.
He was the one driving. Hold on, please. He was the one driving, but you were picking him up.
Yes, ma'am. He has Tourette's, so I was letting him practice to get his driver's license.
And so you were coming from where to pick him up?
From Madison Heights, from the house in Madison Heights.
And he lives where?
He lives in Wyandotte, right off of Oak.
Not Taylor.
No. That's where he just moved from. Like he literally just moved to this address from his parents' house to a friend's house.
court will amend the bond to be a 2,500 10% bond. GPS tether through EMS. And you're not to possess or consume any alcohol or drugs unless prescribed. And counsel, the court, you're not back here until January 2nd. I don't know if there's another date that you're available.
Judge, I believe, is court not, open on the 26th?
I mean, only for, arraignments if needed.
Does it have to be on a Tuesday, or could it just be on, I'm back on, I'm here on December 4th and December 18th. Both of those are Mondays.
Oh, I did not see those days, sorry. All right, let's set this for, let's set this for December 18th. I think it's too quick of a turnaround for the 4th, so we'll do sentencing December 18th at 9:15 a.m. All right, and so you still have to have your interview for probation. I believe it's going to be a phone call tomorrow, but I will confirm that. Let's go off the record for a moment. Wayne County Jail,